Next week on Home and Away in the UK, Eden gets a shock when she secretly reads Cash's wedding vows, but he's hiding a secret of his own. Now that he's been officially reinstated as their celebrant, and having managed to get the bride and groom in the same room at last, John has appointed himself head of wedding operation. Getting Eden to write her vows is at the top of his list, but it's a task that is proving particularly difficult for her. After yet another round of "Are they done yet?" proves fruitless, John marches into the diner and moves straight on to the next phase of his plans, asking Leah how the cake is coming along. Leah blinks. She didn't know she'd been signed up for baking duty. She reaches for her phone to check with Eden, but John shuts that down instantly. They're going traditional, he insists, and the bride is not to be disturbed. Meanwhile, Eden has hit another wall with her vows. Cash has already written his whilst away and refuses to show her, which only ramps up the pressure. Before long, Eden sneaks over to Cash's place whilst he's on his shift, and quietly searches his bedroom, hoping to find the vows and get some inspiration for her own. With Eden having left the front door wide open, it's not long before she's sprung by John, who's come over to ask for more details on the wedding cake. John's immediately suspicious after finding Eden sifting through Cash's bedroom, not buying her claim that she was looking for her lingerie, and cottons onto the fact she was hoping to sneak a peek at Cash's vows. John gets back to the matter in hand and asks about the cake so he can pass the details on to Leah. Eden stares at him. Leah isn't making the cake. It's included in the venue package. John realizes he's messed up. Before John has a chance to let Leah know, Cash drops by the coffee cart the next morning and, on being quizzed by Leah, tells her the cake is already taken care of. Leah breathes a sigh of relief and keeps it polite, but she is not thrilled with John. Later, Cash and Eden are looking forward to some alone time when Abigail bursts in, informing Eden that she needs to be prepared for her hen party the following day. A whole 24 hours of it. Eden isn't entirely comfortable with whatever raucous activities Abigail has inevitably planned, but she doesn't get a say as Abby waltzes back out. Spotting Eden's hesitation, Cash admits he's glad Tane is handling the Bucks' night, only expecting a bit of footy and a couple of beers. But when he later meets with Dane, Cash learns that his plans are much more elaborate, an evening at an exclusive gentleman's club, where they'll be sampling some of the finest whiskeys. Dane points out that some of the shots cost up to $300, but assures Cash that it's all paid for. Cash's unease increases when he hears what Abby has actually got planned for Eden, a karaoke bus trip to the city, where the group will be partaking in a paint and sip, a burlesque class, and dinner followed by dancing at a drag club. "You're going to kill Eden," Cash warns her. "Not if I keep her boozed up," Abby retorts. "Which is where my mobile cocktail kit comes in." Back at Cash's place, Eden is having another failed attempt at her vows when she has a brainwave. Checking in Cash's hold-all that he brought back from his trip away, she's relieved to find a piece of paper with his vows written out. But as she takes a read, Eden's face falls. The vows are terrible. Rushing straight to John, she implores him to have a subtle word with Cash about changing his vows, pointing out that he's written a cringe-worthy acrostic set to the letters of her name. "This is the kind of poem you write for your teacher in primary school," she pleads. But John's unsympathetic, telling Eden she'll have to tell Cash the truth about reading his vows if she wants him to change them. When Cash and Eden later reconvene, Cash's mind is firmly on the over-the-top pre-wedding celebrations Abigail and Tane had planned. While Eden unsuccessfully tries to steer the conversation onto their vows, Cash points out what this whole thing is supposed to be about. It's their wedding, and they should be taking back control rather than worrying about other people's expectations. Cash and Eden sit Tane and Abigail down and ask them to cancel both the hen and the Bucks parties. It's too much and they prefer something far more low-key. Disappointed, Tane and Abby reluctantly agree to cancel their plans. But both are already preparing a plan B, believing that Cash and Eden's ideal plans are far too low-key. As Cash and Eden later head towards Salt for a quiet evening with a bottle of champers, they're intercepted by Tane pulling up in his car, as he orders them to get in. While they're reluctant, the bride and groom-to-be realize their friends aren't about to give them any choice. Arriving at the farmhouse a short while later, Cash and Eden discover that Tane and Abby have laid on a joint outdoor celebration for them. Tane and Molly quickly sweep Cash towards a makeshift bar, where Tane has managed to gather his own selection of whiskeys for the groom, including a fancy Japanese tipple which Cash latches onto straight away. Meanwhile, Abby whisks Eden away to her far more superior bar where margaritas await, complete with straws down in Cash's face. As Cash sips on his first drink, he asks whether he'll be expected to make a speech, and is glad to hear that it won't be necessary. "Writing my vows took enough brain power for a lifetime," he quips as he looks over at Eden with a cheeky, and somehow knowing, grin. Eden smiles back but is panicking inside. As the evening progresses, Remy notices Eden isn't enjoying herself as much as she should. She confides that Cash's vows are terrible, the worst she's ever seen. Remy argues that at least he tried to write from the heart, but Eden isn't consoled. Determined, she decides to confront Cash, who at this point is rather tipsy. But how will he react to knowing that Eden has betrayed his trust and read his supposedly heartfelt vows? Or, with Cash knowing his wife-to-be might try to take a sneaky look at his vows, is he already one step ahead of her?